For the Cruisecraft 5 breaker panel, it's very easy. There is 2 breaker panels on the Cruisecraft 5s, which we'll go over in the next one upstairs. But these first 2 rows here are going to run off your house batteries. So lights, as we go down, you guys can just turn on and off using the lights throughout the boat, or use these breakers. It's more than up to you guys. These 2 water pump breakers, those ones have to be off whenever you are driving the boat. Make sure they're off before you start driving. The reason behind that is if you guys start driving with those on and somebody uses water, you're going to suck up air into your lake water pump. It's going to airlock the pump and you'll have no water going throughout the boat. So these ones need to be off before you start driving. If you need to use water while you are driving the boat, before you flip these back on, make sure your boat comes to a complete stop. Then you can flip the 2 water pump breakers back on and use the water as you need before shutting them back off before you start driving again. Next is your fresh water pump here. That's a 200 liter contained unit of water on board the boat. You guys can use that when you're stopped or driving. The only taps it comes from is the small silver taps near each of the sinks. All the other taps, toilets, showers, hot water, and hot tub water are all lake water. So only drink from these freshwater small silver taps near each of the sinks. Just below that is your 2 water heater breakers. You need to make sure both of those are in the on position. And you have 2 little white indicator switches, which we'll show you here. So going on about the water heater, this is your water heater indicator switch. Right now it's in the on position and there's no red illuminated reset light. So that means your water heater is heating your water. What you guys can do, if you do ever come by and you see this red reset light illuminated, so it's bright red, means your water heater pilot light has gone out, so you're going to need to reset that. To reset that, the easiest thing to do is you flip your on-off switch just to the off position, and then you can flip it back on. Usually that does relight that water heater and gets it going for you guys again, so you have hot water. If it doesn't go, you guys can still turn off your water heater breaker, reset that, flip it back on. If that red reset light goes away, your water heater is heating. If it doesn't seem to go away, we'll get you guys to reference your guys' manual, or if we need, we can always use the radio within main radio hours as well. So this next row of breakers here still runs off the house batteries. Lights, more lights as we go. You guys can turn them on and off using the switches throughout the boat or on the breaker panel. The docking lights are the lights out the very front end of the boat that shine on the beach or on the water. This is that fuel transfer breaker, which we explained more in the back. On the Cruisecraft 5, we have 2 furnace breakers, which I'll show you more about those furnace breakers in a minute. Adjustment and your fireplace temperature adjustment. So for your furnace, first off, if you want to engage your furnace, you need to make sure your breaker panel on the breaker that says furnace is turned on. You're going to flip on the little switch on the side. You're going to set it to heat, and then you'll adjust your temperature to whatever you guys want, and you should be able to hear the furnace engage once you have it set to the temperature you need. Once you're done with the furnace, set your temperature all the way down and flip the little switch on the side to the off position just to shut off the furnace. The last 2 things along this first 2 rows is your 12-volt outlets and your accessory, which are going to work throughout the boat as outlets and just accessory power. So these next 2 rows of breakers, the 3rd and the 4th row of breakers, this 3rd row here is only going to work when your guys' generator is running, and a couple of these on your 4th row. So the trash compactor and washer dryer are also only going to work when the generator is running. So on the Cruisecraft 5, you guys have the generator start and stop switch. And over on the right, you have your shore, off, and ship's gen switch. So first off, once you're unplugged from the dock and out on the lake, there is no shore power. You're only going to use off and ship's gen. So to start up the generator, what you guys are going to do is you come over to your generator start stop switch here. You're going to press and hold start for about 5 seconds. Should be able to hear that generator come on in the back and power up. Also, most boats will have that green light. It will come on to let you know that that generator is started. Give it about 10 to 15 seconds once it is started before you switch your ship's gen and off switch over to the ship's gen position. You're going to know it's working once the lights along your 3rd row breaker panels come on, and we'll show you your inverter panel here in a second. So this inverter panel tells you what your battery charge is on and throughout your guys' boat. So once again, 12 volts is the minimum. If it goes below 12 volts, there is a 12 volt alarm on the boat, so it will slowly start to beep at you. So it's a single beep and then about 10 seconds and it will beep again. That just lets you know you need to start up your generator and let it charge, usually for about 2 to 3 hours after you would get that low voltage alarm, in order for yourselves to get a good charge. If you shut off the generator as soon as that alarm goes away, your battery is going to drain down quickly and set that alarm off again. So this panel will say one of 3 things on it. It will say inverting when your generator is not running and your boat is not charging. It will say bulk charging when your batteries are slowly charging up. And it will say float charging or full charge once your batteries are full. So in a couple seconds, your charging light will engage. It will say charging for you guys once your generator is on and you're set to ship's gen. And slowly it will click in and it will let you know what your full charge or your bulk charge. So for this boat here, it is set to float charge, which means your batteries are full. So now that we've seen the inverter panel and starting and stopping the generator, for the Cruisecraft 5s, you guys are going to want to run your generator about 8 to 10 hours per day, just because you guys, with the size of boat you have, you're going to be using a lot of power and it drains down the batteries fairly quickly. So what I would suggest for you guys to do, first thing in the morning when you wake up, let it run for about 2 to 3 hours. Whenever you're cooking, cleaning, using your hot tub, have that generator running. And before you go to bed, as discussed earlier, you're going to want to run that generator about 2 to 3 hours or until you get a float charge in order for your batteries to be full. Then you can shut off all your breakers and shut down your panel, anything you're not going to be using, in order to conserve power overnight so you don't get woken up by that 12 voltage low voltage alarm. So very easy. Cabin outlets are cabin outlets throughout the boat. You have your dishwasher breaker, more galley outlets, your AC compressor. That you're going to turn on 5 minutes before you turn on your air conditioning unit. It just gets everything flowing through the air conditioning unit before you power on the actual air conditioning unit. And we'll show you where the temperature adjustment is on the boat during your orientation and right after this. This is an example of an air conditioning unit temperature adjustment on each of the boats. So it's very easy. You have your fan, which you can set to auto, on, or off. You have a system, which can be on, cool, heat, or off. And then you have your temperature adjustment over on the side here. That's how you adjust your air conditioning as well as heating sometimes within the boats. And finally, the last thing on this third row is more galley outlets throughout the boat. So once again, the trash compactor, which is located in your main kitchen area on your island, it pulls out and it does compact the trash. You do need the generator running in order for that to work. Washer and dryer on the back area of you guys' boat need the generator running. You guys have fans located throughout the boat. That's for this breaker here. Your refrigerator breaker on this fourth row, you're going to want to leave on at all times. If you turn that one off, your fridge is going to be off and you're going to have warm food and warm drinks, and nobody wants that, so make sure you leave this one on at all times. Your microwave breaker is going to run off the inverter, so that converts 12 volt to 120 volt AC, so it's a more high drawing appliance. For these ones here, you guys, they will work without the generator running. But for your microwave, I would suggest having your generator running whenever you're using that microwave, just because it does draw a lot of power and drains the batteries down fairly quickly. For your galley outlets, you have more of those there. Your stove is for your powering on the stove in the main room, which that does run off propane. This is how you power on the bar accessories and the bar plugins. You have your stereo for the main area here, and then a TV power on breaker here.